I don't know. I think I like to think we've been a good road team, in my tenure here anyway. I can't speak before that, but I think, when you have a good foundation to your game, it gives you a chance, good goaltending, good special teams, it gives you a chance to win on the road, regardless of the situations, playoffs, regular season. So I think we're comfortable on the road.
If Colorado does get Landeskog back in this series, and if it happens to be on their home ice, how do you manage your team in that kind of loud and emotionally charged environment?
Yeah. Well, I think we have to be prepared that that's probably going to happen. And, that can go two ways, too. There's a lot of pressure that comes with that to perform and things like that. So, I've never found those situations to be over cumbersome. I think, for me, you have to manage the initial, the first 10 minutes of any road game like that, especially if he is back in the lineup, it's going to be extra charged. But, if you can get through the first 10 minutes, usually it settles into a normal hockey game.
How aware were you guys last night of them activating him, skating him, moving alternate captain letters?
Yeah.
How much were you guys aware of all that?
Well, we were aware, but it wasn't changing anything we were doing. Whether he played last night or he'll play next game, that doesn't change our approach or our lineup or anything like that.
How different is the feeling in the group getting on a plane today, tied 1-1 versus down 2?
Well, that's the playoffs, right? That's what we talked about after game one. One game changes your world. It really does. On either end, right? You're winning, you feel great, and you're losing, you think the world's ending. So, I think it was obviously a huge win for us, and now we've got to go on the road and do the same thing, use some of the same things that helped us be successful. I thought we were better in game 2 than game 1, and we got to build on that.
What were you better at? It seems like that was your aggressive win puck battles.
I thought we were more direct. I think I talked about that. I thought offensively. I thought defensively both games we've been pretty solid. I think again, keys are staying out of the box. We did a better job of that last night, but still stung us with a power play goal. So but we were much more direct and better offensively.
In a series like this, do you anticipate major adjustments from the other side, or major adjustments that you make seeing what Colorado does? Like, what is it?
Yeah.
What does the coaching staff, I guess, kind of do in a series as it goes along?
I don't think there's major adjustments. I think there's minor adjustments. We both have a foundation of how we want to play, and within that foundation, you'll make minor adjustments to your forecheck or your breakouts or your neutral zone. Depending on what they're doing, but if you're changing major systems or foundation parts of your game this time of year, you're in trouble.
Do you learn much from 2 games?
Yeah, for sure you can learn a lot from 2 games. Both what they are exposing on our group and what we can expose on their group, and obviously it's to limit the former and keep pushing, more of the latter.
As a coach, how much do you enjoy kind of that challenge of being able to dig into one opponent for a series as opposed to a different team every night?
Yeah, I've said this before. I love it. I mean, this is my favorite time of year. To concentrate on one team every night, try and keep your team's game on the rails, trying to keep their emotional level in the right place, their mindset in the right place, whether you win or lose. That's the best part about what we do, this type of hockey.
What's the latest on Jason Robertson?
Nothing new to report. I mean, healing, making some progress. Just saw him in the gym, but he's not
on the trip.
No.
Is Miro on the trip? Oh.
Miro is on the trip. Yeah.
What have you learned in the off ice stuff that we haven't seen, and we've seen some of it? But what can he do, Miro, in the morning skates or practice things, or to get himself in a place where he might be able to return?
Well, I think it's just following the timeline. The surgeon, the doctors, the trainers all have a timeline, and you have to cross certain thresholds and hurdles in order to be prepared to play. And, he's still got, some of those to cross.
This year you've had 3 defense pairs, at least through 2 games. It seems like you guys have been really comfortable rolling all of them out, even in overtime. I know last year that wasn't always the case. What have you seen from that group on, especially defense, and even rookies like Beck that have given you that comfort to roll everyone?
Yeah, you know what? I thought last night was the most comfortable I felt with our defense group. I thought Bischel and Petrovic were really solid. Our top 4 are our top 4, and they give you what they have every night and do their thing. But I thought, those 2 guys allowed us to play them. I thought it was Bischel's best game in a long time, and Petro, was really solid too. I thought that pair gave us a chance, which is comforting going on the road. That doesn't mean we're not going to bend and there's not going to be some moments, but, it was good to see.
It looked like Bischel might have taken the end of a stick up high in overtime or anything. Is he okay?
Yeah, he's fine, yeah.
I know the group turned the page on the regular season, but it was the first win a little bit for you guys. Did you feel that all lift?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I spoke to the group after the game. I said, it feels like we haven't won in a month. And I said, well, we haven't. I reminded myself we haven't. So, but again, that weighs on your group. But, I think it gets a little bit overblown. I mean, we made some conscious choices down the stretch to sit key people. We could have won some of those games had we dressed full lineups, but we made a choice not to, like Carolina did, like Washington did, who both also stumbled down the stretch. So, I'm glad it's in the rearview mirror. I'm glad we can stop talking about it, but I don't think it was ever as big an issue for our group as maybe it was on the outside.
A guy like Petro, how does he contribute in the playoffs last year and then hardly play in the NHL this year and then just contribute in the first 2 games of these playoffs? What allows him to do that?
Well, I think he's a veteran guy. He's got a lot of NHL games under his belt. He's got, and I think a lot of it is situational. I mean, with what he did last year for us, coming in against Colorado and Edmonton, 2 of the best teams in the league, and playing the minutes he played for us and how good he was, I think, he has the trust of the coaches, and that's from a player coming in, that's a good feeling to have. I think it's a lot easier to play when you have that.
2 years in a row now going to Colorado. How much do you talk with training staff or sports science or anything about dealing with the elevation, or is that not something? There's not a lot of sports science to that. I think we talk to our group about shorter shifts. It's real. And Matt Duchesne, played in Colorado, so you always hear him talking to the group about it. But the primary thing for us is shorter shifts, just to make sure you don't extend and wear yourself out. Okay.
Thank you, Pete.
Thank you. See you there. Thank you.